Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another watch list. Basically, think of this as a monthly TV guide for me to let you know what and when TV shows that I'm interested in and maybe you're interested in are coming out. Like always, in the description down below, I'll include links to any trailers that might be available to anything that I bring up during this watch list. On April 1st on NBC, we had the season 3 premiere of Manifest. Excited to have Manifest back. I've actually avoided watching too much of the trailers. I've caught bits and pieces of the promotional material, but once again, trailer still will be in the link in the description down below. But the big thing, at least amongst the promotional material, is the mystery behind what happened to 828 is going to be revealed. Obviously, our stinger at the end of season 2, obviously I have my theories about it, but it seems like we're finally going to get answers about what that's all about. Obviously, so many other things going on at the same time. There's still the whole situation with the general, kind of what happened to Zombie last season. I'm sure like that kind of her whole situation of kind of inadvertently helping the general, propelling what she's up to forward, and what that necessarily entails to, you know, the passengers and just everything that she's up to. So that's definitely going to be interesting. But like I said, I've avoided looking at material, so I don't know whether all of what I've gone over is really in the trailer. I know the plane stuff is. I don't know how much else is, but I'm still excited to see what other mysteries get unveiled and just what happens altogether this season. On April 4th on AMC, we have Gangs of London. Now, this is a really interesting situation because, well, really quickly, Gangs of London, it seems like this really interesting action crime drama where basically the head of like kind of a gang family ends up getting killed, and his son wants to find out who's the one that's responsible, and he's kind of willing to, like, you know, go at in like not try to keep peace with any other gang if it means finding out the answers about what happened to his dad. It just seems like crazy high octane action. So seems really interesting. I've been wanting to check the series out for a while because it's actually in an interesting position because it actually originally aired on AMC Plus. I don't have AMC Plus, but it seems like now they're just airing it on regular AMC. So I'm finally going to have a chance to check it out because obviously it's originally like, I think, a British show. So a little, like I said, it was like was it last year, I think, that it started airing on AMC Plus, but now it's airing just generally on AMC. So I'm really interested to finally be able to check it out. I've heard nothing but good things about the show anyway. Just from the trailer alone, I was like, all right, this seems like right up my alley. So on April 7th on the CW, we have the new series Kung Fu, which in itself is actually kind of like a reboot / remake of the original show, which I know nothing about. I'm only slightly familiar with the show because I remember hearing about it, but that's about it. Just from what I saw of this trailer, it's interesting. The trailer doesn't give you too much about what exactly the plot necessarily is because our main character is unclear necessarily. Like, it seems like her family doesn't know what she was off doing, like training martial arts wise, and because obviously she comes back and says like, yeah, I don't want to, you know, go to medical school and stuff like that. So, and it almost seems like a borderline superhero show. And once again, I've never seen the original series, so maybe the original series kind of flowed this way as well, but it seems like a very like superhero show. Looks badass. It seems like she's kind of stepping up, like it's like, oh, like this is what I want to do, or at least what I'm meant to do is, I guess, like fight bad guy. So it's like, I guess it's just going to be like maybe like people come with her to a problem, and basically she kind of, you know, does her superhero thing and kind of saves and helps people. I think that's just the general gist of it. Like I said, kind of very superhero-like, but once again, the trailers don't show too much of that. Obviously, they show a little bit more of the action and stuff like that, which looks pretty dope. So I'm very excited to check the series out. On April 8th, on ABC, we have the series premiere of Rebel, where we have the titular character Rebel played by Katie Seagal, which is pretty dope. Obviously, I've never seen the show, but I know she was a big part of Sons of Anarchy. Obviously, Leela from Futurama, as well as Peg Bundy from Married with Children. Essentially, Rebel isn't really a lawyer, but I guess she just wants to help people. Essentially, it seems, at least from what we saw in the trailer, and I'm assuming most of that's from the first episode, is she takes on big corporations that kind of screw over people. Now, whether maybe in her past life she, like in a sense of like, maybe years ago she was a lawyer, but maybe being a lawyer just didn't cut it for her. We don't know. Like, obviously the trailer kind of gives you an idea who Rebel is, but I'm sure there's still a lot more to her story, and just she seems very kind of does things her own way, for better or for worse, for herself as well as the people around her. But it's showcasing, like, you know, she's a good person at heart, that she might be a little wild, but she always had the best of intentions with what she does. So I'm really interested to, you know, check out and see what the full scale of the story is like. You know, what kind of get to know the character of Rebel, you know, more. On April 11th, we have the return of The Walking Dead Season 6. I'm going to really quickly let you know I am still not caught up with The Walking Dead. Just so many, well, Fear the Walking Dead and so many other things are going on at the same time for me. But I'm going to try and get completely caught up before the second half of the season. So yes, like I said, link to the second half of the season is going to, or at least where the season's picking up, hopefully, in the description down below. But like, I'm avoiding the trailer because I'm not completely caught up, so I have nothing to really add to this other than hopefully I'll be caught up by the time season 6 returns. So, but also on April 11th on HBO, we have the new series The Nevers, which is this interesting, I guess, period piece, but kind of like a supernatural / fantasy period piece where like there are these people known as the Touch. They're these women who somehow gain these special abilities, and it's kind of like this Victorian age of like people trying to figure out, you know, where the Touch stand, and just kind of they're trying to find their place in this world, of trying to understand why they have these powers and kind of what their greater purpose is. So I've talked about it previously, kind of like a little bit of an X-Men thing. It kind of reminds me of Haven with the Troubled. In a similar vein, so it seems really interesting. You know, obviously, like we got a little bit more story with the official trailer, but still not full context of everything that's necessarily going on. But I'm really interested to dive into this show and kind of see what it's all about. On April 16th on Sci-Fi, we had the 5th and final season of Van Helsing. I'm really excited to see what goes down in this season. Obviously, the only promotional material I see out is like a 30-second trailer, kind of giving you some quick cuts of what to expect, which I'm totally fine with that. Obviously, it's, you know, showtime with the Dark One. She's free, she's out and about doing her thing, and what that necessarily entails. You know, we see some familiar faces, some heroes about, you know, Vanessa's kids, you know, that reveal last season, you know, even Vanessa herself, we get a quick glimpse of her this season, and obviously her coming back more powerful than ever, and necessarily what that entails, but how this fight with the Dark One is going to play out. Is it going to be, are things going to be good? Are things going to end bad? I have no idea. I'm very excited to see what ultimately ends up going down, what ultimately gets revealed, because I'm sure there's still some spots in some of the lore that they might feel the need to kind of expand on in a certain regard. So I'm curious, like, if they touch on any of that in this 5th and final season. Like I said, just in general, I'm curious to see how it all comes to an end. On April 23rd on Netflix, we have this new series called Shadow and Bone, something I'm not that familiar with. At the time of me recording this, the only thing out is a teaser trailer. And so basically it seems like there's an army that was kind of summoned to like fight. There's like this dark cloud of, well, darkness, and I guess they're there to investigate it, or at least find a way to destroy it. And they end up fighting some of the monsters in there. And one of the titular characters, it seems like she has this special power, and this light, it emanates from her and it pushes back the darkness. But it seems like another character, interesting enough, is the actor who plays Billy from The Punisher. It's kind of one of the things I'm best known for, is saying that her and him can change the world. Now, what that necessarily entails, I'm not quite sure. Are they because it seemed like maybe they're kind of hinting that he has some kind of powers, because all of a sudden this darkness kind of surrounds. I don't know, because I think the whole argument too was supposed to be like they're supposed, well, not argument, but from what I was reading from a quick synopsis, it was like they're supposed to be like, this is supposed to be taking place during a war or something like that. So, because it seemed like the darkness was his thing, so I don't know. Like, just like I said, from the teaser trailer, obviously by the time this comes out, there'll probably be a full-blown trailer a lot closer to the release date, so we'll probably get a lot more context then about what's going on. But just from what we saw in the teaser trailer, it seems interesting. I'm interested to kind of find out more about what's going on, because it's based on a book, and like I said, I don't want to read too much about the synopsis. I'd rather just kind of see things from a trailer perspective. We'll have to wait and see, but like I said, from what I saw, it seemed interesting, so I'm sure there's a lot of context I'm missing from the story. And finally, on April 29th, also on Netflix, we have this new anime series called Yasuke. It seems really interesting. At the time of me recording this, there is no trailer out. I think just today or maybe a couple days ago, some promotional images, well, not just images of the anime itself, kind of started coming out. But essentially, it's actually based on kind of like obviously some historical African samurai, which was interesting. I'm not well versed in all things samurai, even though I like samurai. This is kind of a story I'm not familiar with. Obviously, they're doing like their own like fantasy twist on it, because apparently there's going to be like mechs and magic going on. So kind of probably like a little Trails of Cold Steel-ish in certain regards. I know I had to bring it back to Trails of Cold Steel. I apologize. But it seems really interesting that basically this is after Yasuke's kind of done his time as a warrior, and now he's trying to live a life of peace, but obviously like he's trying to keep this particular village peaceful, but things kind of change when this it's up to him to kind of protect this little girl who has mysterious powers. Like I said, this is just what I'm picking up from synopsis. This is because there's not even an official trailer out yet, but just the premise behind it is interesting, both from just what the story's about, but also just like the historical aspect of like, oh, I had no idea that was a thing, so that's pretty dope. Also, apparently Yasuke's being voiced by Lakeith Stanfield, so that's pretty dope. And so that brings this month's watch list to an end. Like always, if there's something that's coming out that maybe I wasn't aware of, that you were aware of, that you think maybe me or someone else would be interested in, don't be afraid to leave it in the comments down below. But really, that's all I want to talk about. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.